But today I had to go to Harbor Freight. Now I bought this soldering gun over a year ago, and I can't remember what I paid for it. Chicago Electric. You can kind of see there, maybe. Dim the light away a bit. Pretty cheap, inexpensive, and really, it's pretty junk. And we bought this. So this was right around 30 bucks. So this kit comes with 3 soldering tips, 10G soldering reel, 10G soldering flux, storage case. It says it's ready to use in just 8 seconds. It has a built-in LED light for clear viewing, and it heats up to 1000 degrees Fahrenheit, and has a soft touch textured grip and works with mixed alloy, solder, and brazing rods. We are definitely going to time that just 8 seconds, because that would be pretty cool. I'm gonna get a couple wires here. I'm just gonna do a basic solder, basically just to see if it works or not. Now, in addition to today's visit at Harbor Freight, I also bought me the Pittsburgh 8-inch self-adjusting wire strippers. I bought me the heavy-duty ratcheting crimpers, because in a video that I had done before, working on the plow on my truck, I didn't have these actual crimping pliers. I was just using regular pliers, which you can, but I figured I never had any of these, so why not, right? I also bought an 88 piece of heat shrinking tube, and it has some really big ones in there. This was actually pretty inexpensive. And then for the purchase of all this stuff today, like I said, today is January 4th. You'll see this video on Tuesday. So let's check out this soldering kit. Let's just see what this all looks like. Now again, I don't really do a lot of soldering. So for me, I don't see the sense in buying a really expensive soldering gun. Alright, so real quick, pretty heavy duty plastic, nice little carrying case for it. Of course it comes to you zip tied. Let's see what's inside. Alright. Going on. So, get the instructions. I'll need those. Here's the gun. Pretty nice. I definitely have always been a fan of these trigger style soldering guns. Some flux. 2 different tips. And then of course your solder. So, not a bad little kit. We're going to keep the flux out. I actually have some solder from that other soldering gun, so we're going to use this up. Again, it's probably, not the best. It's probably not the best solder, but we're going to work with what we got. Alright, so for the purpose of this video, we're going to just take this wire right here, and then this will bring us to our next tool. So these self-adjusting wire strippers. Now I had bought these over the summer, again, Harbor Freight, and they have a little cutter on them right here. Does a pretty good job. Snips your wire. They're pretty good, but I feel like sometimes they just don't want to work. I don't know, maybe that could be operator error for sure. So apparently with these you can adjust these heads for different size thickness. So let's just so we got a little wire cutter. Did a pretty nice job. Strip the wire. Yeah. And one thing I'm curious about is how well it cuts the actual wire. Yeah, so it kind of just bent it over. Okay, so I guess if you pull on it a little bit, that's okay. So we're gonna cut this in half. We're gonna give this a little so there it took about 3 times to get that to strip. So you can adjust the tension right here. So there's actually a positive and then a negative. So if we give that a little bit more, let's see what that does. See how it's not really stripping it. So let's give it a little bit more. So it doesn't really want to let's crank it all the way up. So it looks like let's try it right here. So that one doesn't work. Okay, we got it. That's stuck in there. All right, do a little bit more. So there I pulled off a big chunk. So yeah, I don't know. I think maybe we'll do and we'll keep trying with them. But anyway, for the purpose of this video, I'm just going to solder these 2 wires together, mainly just to see how our solder gun works. Now, one of the things that I wish this kit came with that I am not seeing is it has no kind of holder for your solder gun. So that's one drawback there. So I guess, you know, you would just leave it here on the bench, which is fine, but I think like a holster or holder I think would be cool too. And I could probably 3D print one, and I might, but we'll see how this works. Give you guys a little more of a look here. So I think what it means by on the package, because I kind of just counted in my head here from the time I pulled the trigger, is that after you've plugged this in, you know, for a minute or whatever, and the time that you pull, from the time that you pull the trigger to the time that you're ready to actually put some solder, you know, melt some solder, it takes about 8 seconds. So I think that's what they're actually meaning. Not, you know, in 8 seconds after plugging it in, it'll be ready to use. So I think, you know, ultimately it's going to take, you know, a little bit, you know, take like a minute or whatever to get warmed up. It's got a light too, which is kind of cool. But yeah, I mean, I purposely unsoldered that and then resoldered it back together so where the wire wasn't even touching, just to see, you know, I'm really pulling on that. That ain't coming. And that's a crappy job. But I wanted to see like the strength of the actual solder and see how well the gun actually soldered the wires together. So I'd call that a win. Yeah. That's I'm pulling on that pretty good. So that is that. I'd say for, you know, 30 bucks. And you know, something to throw in the toolbox. Definitely no complaints here. You know, if need be, we'll do an update video later on just to kind of see. Definitely better than that other thing that I had. That thing wouldn't even heat wire. And as far as the light, I mean, you can kind of see the picture of the guy there. I mean, it's just a headlight. I could, well, it does say try me. So what I could do, oh, it's got different modes too. Oh, look, it blinks. So we're in my basement here. It's pretty dark. We're gonna try this 500 lumen light. There's a try me button. There we go. So there's that. There's that one. And then that's light, like a low mode. And then there's a blinking mode. So yeah, I think this thing's pretty cool. So the light was free. All right, and now finally, for our last tool, this is heavy duty ratcheting crimper. This was also purchased at Harbor Freight. The brand name is Doyle, as you can see. Now I did buy this kit a long time ago. This is the 308 piece electrical connector assortment kit. I bought this at Harbor Freight as well. Comes with a variety of different things. This crimper is designed for the 3 different sizes. So you have 16 to 22, which would be your red, 14 to 16 gauge, which would be your blue, and then 10 to 12 gauge, which would be your yellow. AWG, which stands for the American Wire Gauge. So yeah, I don't have red. I only have blue and yellow. So we'll have to just work with that. Let's get this open. Right. So real quick, out of the package, definitely, you know, good solid. It's got a little bit of weight to it. Your release is right here. All right, so your release is here. Now I will say, I really struggled to get that release undone. I actually had to use a screwdriver as a pry bar to pry that up. This was extremely tight together. But yeah, you just flip that up, and that opens. It's a ratcheting style pair of pliers. Once you get that loose, you know, then it works pretty good. You know, release goes up. You just squeeze a little bit, flip the release up, and then there you go. But I am going to say right out of the package, this was extremely difficult to get undone. I could not use my finger to pop that release. So maybe I'm just weak, I don't know. So we'll stick that in there like this. You want your wire sticking out just a little bit. And you want to crimp. You want to crimp right here. You want to crimp right here on the connector. You don't want to be crimping back here. You want to be crimping right here. So we'll just stick that in there. Actually got to switch hands here. So I am left-handed. So this makes it a bit challenging here. So we're just going to, the middle one is the blue. You can see. Put it in there. Get a little bit of wire sticking out. Squeeze it. Good. Pop our release. Don't know how I feel about the release. I think it's kind of... So yeah, there you go. So it's not too shabby. Yeah, good and solid. I don't have any 12 to 10 gauge wire, unfortunately. I just have this little stuff, so I won't be able to do the yellow one, but it's going to be the same, you know, the same concept as what we just did here. So yeah. All right, so just an update with these pliers from Harbor Freight, these Doyle crimp connector pliers. One thing that I do not like about them right off the rip is I do not like this little release thing. Now, if you look inside here, you can see there's a gear, and then this release is what, you know, allows it to lock in place. So I don't like this ratcheting style plier. So I'm going to see if I can't knock this pin out. There's a spring in here. I'm going to get rid of that spring, get rid of this whole release, and then this should just work like a regular pair of pliers. So let's see what we can do here. All right, the spring is out of there. So that pin is in there pretty good. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to wreck the tool. I just want to fix it. So I think now that's going to work. That's going to work so much better. And if I want it to, yeah, if I want it to latch close, I can just flip that down, and then that will hold the pliers close. See? See, so when you push the pliers down, So when it's latched and you push the pliers down, it unlatches, and then they actually work. So I think these are going to work a lot better now. I'm not going to be fighting that release. And that thing doesn't get in the way neither. I mean, it locks it up sometimes. I don't think you're going to be doing crimping upside down, but yeah, I'm going to try them like this. And if I have any further issues, I will give you an update on that. So there we go. So my final conclusion to these tools that we reviewed today, I think they are, pretty good tools. As far as, everyday use, I don't know. I will keep you updated as time goes on. I personally will not be using these tools every single day. I will be using them often, but I will not be using them every single day. So if anything changes, if something breaks, I will update you in a future tool video based off of these tools that we reviewed today. I have no affiliation with Harbor Freight. This is not a sponsored video in any way. I really like tools, and I thought this would be a cool little segment to add to the channel. We'll just call it Tools on Tuesday. Any questions about these tools or any other tools that we'll review in the future, feel free to leave a comment down below and let me know. And yeah, we'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching. Catch you later.